And somebody else doesn't need a job anytime is, of course, P. Diddy. Guys, P. Diddy is back in the news one more time, again and again, every day, inside, outside, roundabout. Some fucking bad shit and also some weird shit about Diddy. So can we talk about Diddy, everybody? And, of course, your favorite section. Did he do it?
Hey, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. I will be locked up because I'm a bad boy for life. Allegedly, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail because I'm a bad boy for life. Allegedly. Allegedly.
All right, everybody. Some more Diddy news. Yes, did he do it? That's the question out there. And a little serious at the top because, again, we have another accusation that came forward that Diddy actually, on the West Coast and in a building apartment complex 8 years ago, actually, hung a girl over a 17-floor balcony and almost dropped her. Apparently, Brianna Bangolin, I probably butchered her name, was dangled over her 17-story high balcony, and then Diddy pulled her off there and slammed her against a bunch of furniture, allegedly. And she was apparently the quintessential starving artist. She was a one-time clothing designer for Diddy herself. And then on top of that, too, their whole relationship, apparently, she said that there were threats, there were intimidation and violence. And on top of that, too, he actually said to her at one point that he was the motherfucking devil and that he would kill her and intend to terrorize and intimidate her and instill fear upon her, too. So this, again, is one of those things that's crazy. We've been hearing all these allegations. We don't know if that's true. We really don't. But that's one big thing. But an even bigger thing that came out, which everyone's talking about online, which I don't know. We don't know if this is true. This could just be a bad joke. Could be a horrible joke. It could be reality. But Jamie Foxx came forward recently because he's doing this new Netflix special. No, it's comedy, of course, but he said that he was allegedly poisoned by Diddy, and that's what caused all of his issues with his health last couple of years. Remember, we talked about this for a while, that Jamie Foxx wouldn't say what was going on with him. He was, hospitalized for a long time, and then he finally came back. And this is what he said to some people, and during his Netflix special too. Is it a really bad joke? That's a horrible joke to say. Some people are saying that maybe that's what it is, but actually one of the sources came forward. I guess this guy, big homie CC, that's close to him. I don't know. This guy said though he knows that Diddy had poisoned Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx says it was true, and Jamie Foxx reported this to the FBI, which is part of the whole different thing that was going on with Diddy to go after him. Now, is that true or is it a bad joke? We'll have to wait and find out when the special drops. But a lot of people are weighing in on this, and if it's a bad joke, that's a horrible joke to say. Diddy poisoned me, and that's what caused all these issues. It's hard to believe that. I mean, Jamie Foxx is a comedian, of course, but he did go through a really scary time in his life, and it seems like a weird thing to joke about. It just does. And if you are people going to laugh at that? This is a really serious situation. And we crack jokes all the time. Again, did he do it? Did he not? We don't know. Allegations can come forward, but after all these things keep piling on top, and of course he didn't get out on bail for the third time, I think there's a lot going on. Yeah, poison Japanese spider, man. That's what he was saying. So again, Jamie Foxx didn't say if it was a stroke, what happened to him. It took him a long time to come back. There's a lot of serious allegations against Diddy. Is that true, or is a comedian gone wrong? GR, I know we talk about Diddy all the time. You say it doesn't matter, Bubba's coming after him. I know we make some jokes about this, but do you think this is a really bad joke, or do you think there's some reality that Jamie Foxx might be putting out there to the world that he hasn't spoken about before in his stand-up special coming out very soon?
Well, I think it was a tacky joke, but nothing would surprise me, especially if he did something that Diddy didn't like at one of his parties.
Which, again, we've heard this multiple times, that he was a monster sometimes, allegedly, during all these different parties. So it's like, when you hear about this, it almost feels like, again, even the dangling girl over a balcony, it's like, it almost seems like it just makes sense at this point, right, GR?
Yeah. But all these dirtbags, it's not Diddy related, but the little boys that wanted to get out before Christmas.
Yeah, Menendez brothers too.
The decision on them has been pushed back to June.
Oh, that came out too. Look at that. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. They think they're gonna get out so easily, but when crimes like this happen, especially with them, it's like it's not just gonna be like one of those things. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different details coming out from that still, and they're still trying to get out of jail, of course. But that's a long break to be pushing them even further. I don't know if they'll get out. It depends on this new DA. But again, I feel like they're gonna throw the book at Diddy, and then Harvey Weinstein got hospitalized too. Another like skis bag out there trying to again say that the jail is like horrible and that they should be sued. He's trying to sue the jail now that he's being held at Rikers or whatever. And then Diddy, these are allegations, but you hear about the fear mongering. You hear about him like getting these notes in jail, trying to like kind of scare people from inside jail too. It makes me wonder like what's not true. It's hard to not believe the allegations, Gr.
What's funny, Brian, is they're called prisons and jails, not spas.
Yeah, but it seems like it. How do you have cell phones in there? It just seems really weird.
Cell phones in it. Trust me.
Yeah. I mean, it's just sad though, and I think again, if this is a bad joke, I mean, we joke. We have a good time here on Cruise Control. We love joking about stuff, of course. We won't joke about again these allegations, but about Diddy because it does seem fucking nuts at this point. I'm like, what else is going to happen now in this case? I just feel like it just keeps stacking up and stacking up. It's like nothing's going to surprise me at this point. When I heard this thing about Jamie Foxx, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, it almost seems like it's real at this point. I don't know. This again, it's a horrible joke if it is a joke. But what do you think, Angela? Is Jamie Foxx going a step too further, or maybe you think that there's going to be a lot more stuff like this coming forward that we never would think would even be in reality at this point?
I mean, I think I don't know. I mean, based on the pattern of all the things that are coming to light, I mean, sure, everything's always is alleged. But I mean, there's just so many people coming out with very somewhat similar stories that they're feeling maybe it's an opportunity that they feel comfortable discussing it. They're not being paid off, or they probably were, offered, to be like by his defense team or by him or by whoever to be, to keep their mouths closed. But they decided to be like, no, we're not going to do that. I don't know. There's too much stuff that's starting to, I mean, it's just crazy. Like some of the stuff is just, it's crazy, but sad to, I mean, I hate saying this. I mean, there's things I've attended where I'm like, did that shit really just happen? Like, did that, and it's, I mean, it's, some of these people live in a world of their own. Like I mean, in the sense of like, they think they can do whatever they want. Right. So it's like they do. And then everyone else follows, the leader in the sense of like either shutting up or kind of doing it along with them or whatever. And so I think all that stuff's starting to come out now, all the people that were victims of these incidents. And Jamie Foxx probably maybe is. I don't know. Like, sure, I think he's known for jumping, but I think he's been at parties of P. Diddy's and stuff. So I don't think he's going to like, based on the severity of all the things going on with that, I don't think he's going to mess around too much because he's been at those events and parties. So I think he's seen shit. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the crazy thing about it because he's been on all those like little lists, the Diddy lists that came out and stuff like that. Like his name has been on there.
And, sure, he's a comedian. He could make fun of it, maybe, but it's like I feel like it's a delicate dance because if he's on the list, which he is, right? He's been to the parties. Yeah. That whole thing happened with him with his health and stuff. Maybe there's a connection, right? There could be. So
there could be.
I don't know. I mean, he wasn't. Yeah. Who knows? So anything's possible. I mean, at this point, I don't know. Like, I don't know what he's going to talk about, but I don't know if he'll bring up the Diddy stuff because he's involved. It might be one of the things like his agent or someone tells him not to really talk about, or maybe because he has been named, he has been on lists. As a comedian, he will talk about it because he wants people to know that he's not going to like, there's a couple of different ways you can go about it. You could just maybe say something, but it's, depending on what they're, there's the trial's been pushed up to May or June next year.
May, yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's going to be watch what you say or comes out of your mouth if you were somebody that was attending any of those events. But,
and if he did say something to the FBI, that'd be insane. You know what I mean? Yeah. That would be something crazy.
Right. And I mean, again, it could have happened. He was poisoning women and other people, right? Like at his parties and allegedly, and raping and all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's like, if this is true, then that's really bad. Like, that is just absolutely horrible. So, I mean, I hope he didn't do that to, him, but like,
Your friend like that, But it's like the plot thickens. That's what it feels like, Ange. Like the plot thickens. Like what else is going to come out this year before we actually get to this trial? And with him being held back, and they're trying to get out and bail, but they're not letting him happen. It makes me think there's going to be more and more stuff we're going to see trickle out, and it's going to be a crazy year.
Yeah, and I think it'll be harder too for the defense, because the more stuff that gets leaked, or that's leaked and is out in the media, right? Like, in the world I've been in for a long time, it's just, public opinion. I don't know, it could crush you, a jury, but like, I just feel like, I don't know who hasn't. I guess there are people that just don't, the rural parts of don't really know what's going on with some of this stuff. But like, I find it hard not to at this point. It's so publicized, and it's just public opinion. Depending on where where they're going to try everything, it's just a matter of like, does somebody want to be like reelected? There's other factors there involved with this stuff. So it's not just about like, I hate to say it, it's not just about whether you think someone's guilty or innocent. It's also about politics. Like, there's a lot of things that come into play. But in terms of what we're talking about with being poisoned and Jamie Foxx, I think he might stay away from it. I don't think he's going to talk about it, especially if that, for God's sakes, is true. So,
it's a lot. And to joke about it like that, like we crack jokes and stuff, but like to joke about that too, it just seems like it's a bridge too far, almost. But then again, like comedians are able to speak their mind and make jokes about things. We write jokes that are off the cuff sometimes, that are just crass. Brandon, you've been there too. Like you write jokes sometimes. Like, is that too far? Is that a line too far? Do you think that's what Jamie Foxx is doing here? Is this a line too far, or can I joke about this guy that I've known for a long time and like crack a laugh out of it?
I don't know. I think it's true. I think Diddy's nuts, man. Like, who's kidding who? The power's definitely gone to his head. I believe, like, all the shit that's going. Like, of course, he's absolute power corrupts absolutely, and he's one of those guys who just got to the top probably way too fast and just got anything he wanted, and then you give him an empire to run, and that's gonna fuck with his head. So I think that he's just one of those guys. Like, I'm glad that all this is finally happening. I know we had our kind of watershed moment in the film industry with Me Too and everything, but I'm glad that it's finally kind of trickling over to the music industry, because women have been treated so bad in the music industry for a long, long time, and it's good that it's finally now kind of coming out just how bad it's been for them.
And Jamie Foxx is a big leader in there too, because again, he's still a music artist too. He's been making his own stuff, so he's seen a lot of things. Hence why he's probably been at these Diddy freak-offs and these parties and stuff too, or at least at the parties before the freak-offs. Allegedly he was at the freak-offs. Who knows? But I would say like being intertwined with that business, maybe this is his way of just being like, you know what? I'm done with this guy. Fuck this. It's out. I'm just gonna say it. You know what I mean? Even if it's not real. I feel like it just like fuck you, man. Like it could be like, even if it's a bad joke, it'd be like a fuck you. But I do kind of be like, wow, wouldn't that be fucking crazy if it was like real, like he drugged him and that's why Jamie Foxx almost died? Can you imagine that? Yeah. That's just like,
it's weird. It's crazy, but like not too crazy to where it couldn't be real. That's the thing.
Right? That's what I was saying, Brandon, just from like event parties, all the things that happen in Hollywood or like outside music industry, whatever you want to call it. I just kind of couple it all together, like that whole world. It's like, everything's, it's possible, especially when you're somebody who believes that you're like invincible. He's somebody that's kind of always had that invincible attitude. Like I'm Peter.
The fact that they never talked about what really happened to him, why he was sick. You wonder, could this really be real? Did he get poisoned?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And did he talk to the FBI about it?
And maybe it was even like a thing that happened where he had some at the party he shouldn't have had. You know what I mean? And like he knew that was going on. This could be implicate himself too a little bit. You never know where this could actually open up.
It might have been a thing where, Diddy was like, "Hey man, try this," and then now he's trying to face and be like, "Yeah, he poisoned me," but like, who knows? Who knows what happened in those hallowed walls at the freak offs?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Only the
know.
walls can speak of that, and the people who come
England.
forward,
Dangling women over balconies and such.
Oh, I don't.
Damn,
None of that stuff I find. Sadly, I don't even find that to be at all like.
Right.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
guys,
Exactly.
I mean, not those guys saying, but that shit happens. Like
Hmm.
people do psycho stuff, and I don't put it past any of them.
Yeah.
Like that crew of people. I don't.
I never dangled anybody off of 17th floor in any party I've had.
Yeah,
Well, I'm happy you haven't, GR.
Yeah, not you, but that group of like his, the group he like him. I could see that being like if you're a power person and you want to like you want to show somebody your dominion over them or your dominance. Like I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it seems like he's that kind of guy.
GR only does it on the 18th floor.
Right.
18th floor and above. Yeah. 18th
Would
and
you
above.
quit telling people my secrets?
You
I'd
do
only
the
do it.
first floor,
I'd only do it to the
back
ex-wife anyway. So
Oh, I see. It's consensual.
I love it.
Consensual dangling.
there.
no, that one is your ex-wife.
Ooh.
Well, I'm just glad
Temperatures are hot.
parties. So I'm glad I was not in attendance at any of those parties. I may have seen some of these people at like other events that were like public, like larger, like Super Bowl type parties and stuff. Thank God, but like not private. Oh God, no.
You were not at the freak offs, Angela?
I was not at any of the freak offs. I saw him at like Super Bowl stuff and things like that, like parties that were from other people had. So they weren't P. Diddy exclusive parties, I mean. So
Yeah, right. I don't believe
They
you.
were-
For a second.
Yeah.
You were at all the freak offs.
I'd be, yeah, right. Yeah.
Give us
she
the
was
facts. Give us the
invited,
truth.
but she didn't go.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Give us
So the days of those, like he would be at these like, like Shaq would be there. It's all the sports,
Oh, right.
sports, music. They're all together in like groups and Shaq's cool. Like, he likes to DJ. He's fun. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, I just feel like some of those events, like, they get a little more, they have to be more mindful in person, in public, in the public eye. But I mean, they're filled with celebrities and that's all they are. And some wealthy.
They're always there. It's like everybody's pretty much there, right? Pretty
Sounds
much.
Yeah, I mean, you get a lot of
Exhausting. Like
Yeah.
dealing with people like that sounds
Super
exhausting.
Bowl, but yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Especially because you have other people that you don't hang out with normally, so you kind of have to be a little
Right.
more like, oh, who are you? Are they gonna like talk shit about me or something? And they definitely keep an eye on everything. Like you don't have your phones, you don't have any of your stuff, you can't take
whoa.
pictures. Like, and that's like just in general at the Super Bowl stuff, you can't have your things there.
Yeah.
It's because in case if you're media or whatever, they don't want anyone saying stuff, and obviously there's other things.
Documenting it. They don't want any documentation.
Yeah, that adds a whole nother level to it. Like where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we know nobody has a phone, so we can do whatever we want.
And
But he was recording everything too, did he? He was recording everything.
Right, but he can record, but then nobody else.
Yeah.
So that's where he has like the vault of, all the vault of secrets and scandal
Vault of secrets.
because it kind of reminds me of like maybe a news network that I may have worked with. But yeah, you get people's secrets, right? And he's got everything but he didn't get your consent. So there's a whole issue of like, unless he had made you sign something when you came to the door, you're talking about like, did you have permission to use my likeness? Did you have permission? There's a lot of other things there because when somebody records something, now you're talking about copyright, all kinds of issues. So that's stuff that he'd be facing, which is like on a way lesser level. But in terms of like victims, that's where they have a defense on that side, like on a civil,
Oh, right. Yeah.
civil suit. They'd have like, because if he films it, so if I film something on my phone right now, like what we're filming right now, they own the copyright to this show, right? I film something, send it to you. I still own the copyright, but you have your likeness. So if I'm doing something that you don't, and based on state law and all that stuff, but if I'm doing something that you don't, like you're not Brandon, Brian, FGR, like you're like, I don't want you filming this. Like, even if it's and there gets to be a little bit, if it's like a public show, like this is, public, right? We're on different streaming networks and stuff. Then there becomes, it's a difference because then you're a public figure. So then you have a right to, in some ways, it crosses some gray area on how you can use someone's likeness. But if it's for profit or for any of that kind of stuff or making money, all those things, you have to sign releases, you have to do all the NDA stuff, everything. So unless he did that at parties, I don't really know. I would immediately be like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like if someone sent me something and then told me my phone's going and this is going, it's like bad shit's happening here. You need to be thinking that.
He would do that though. He would steal people's phones, allegedly, take their phones, their wallet, their purses, and not give it back to the girl unless they said they weren't going to do anything, and then let them go eventually after they were drugged, allegedly again.
That's like though. That's like entrapment somebody. You can't.
It's entrapment.
You can't do that. Yeah. You can be like, we don't allow phones. This is the locker, or this is the thing you can have with here. By the way, here's your key. But you can't just take someone's property and be like, you can't get it back. That's like coercion. You can't do that. You can't coerce somebody. Which
I think is being part of all those charges lumped in there as well.
Yeah, I think that's what he did. Yeah, for sure. Because if someone did that to me, I'd be like freaked out. I'd be like, I'm out of here. I'd be like, I don't give a shit who you are. Like, you're not making me famous. Like, I think that's how they use that tactic, right? A lot of celebrities will be like, if you come, like, you got to meet him because, like that gal that she was on like, I think NBC, like nightly news or something. They did like a story and she was talking about her experience with going to one of those parties and being given the white slippers that was like meant for you to go in the house and you could like see what was happening in there. And like she was talking about, and I'm surprised I think we talked about it on the show actually. And she was like, we did talk, right. And we were like, I can't believe they even let her talk because, I mean, he's got people all over the place. She's exposed now. Nobody really was protecting her. I mean, she said a lot of stuff, but like she gave a reasonable kind of accurate depiction of what occurred there. That seemed pretty believable. And, at the same time, then you're just thinking like, oh my God, like, you think this guy's going to end? And the man she went with there, I mean, you got to look at like who you're hanging out with, number one, two, like that's a whole other thing. But then you're going to this type of party and that shit's happening. And she was smart. She's like, okay, this doesn't seem right. This seems odd. Like they're coming up to me and saying weird shit. There's dudes doing stuff together. I mean, P. Diddy's doing stuff, pushing his girlfriend up. Like that's crazy.
He was doing some stuff apparently on everybody, guys, girls,
like men,
children of all ages, allegedly.
Plants. I mean, I don't know, maybe plants or shoe boxes. I don't know. It's like sky's the limit for that guy. But
no, attack my Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
And like
Chewbacca.
Point being, that is just, I mean, get the frick out of somewhere. If you don't trust what people are doing, go. You're not going to get famous. They're just, someone wants you for something and it's not for your voice or your acting abilities. Because you know what, if that's true, they're just going to probably allow you to meet somebody like, hey, let me introduce you to my agent. Hey, let me introduce you to my producer.
Real life stuff.
There's not going to be some creepy, weird, request in between if it's
right. Yeah, that's not part of the process usually.
No, so just
someone like this, Angela, just eats people up and spits them out. That's it. You know what I mean? Yeah, and just a piece of shit. If all these allegations are true, I feel not bad at all to be like, GR, what do you think about this asshole right now eating people up and spitting them out?
Well, I can tell you, pretty soon he's going to get eaten up and spit out.
Hey.
Just like that.
Bubba.
Yeah.
His new roommate, Bubba, he'll eat him up and spit him out.
Well, yeah, he might. But guys,
he already does. I think apparently, allegedly, from what we hear at these parties, it sounds like he does like that. So he might be in heaven. He might be
as the theme song says. Allegedly, as the theme song says.
He might be in heaven wherever he's at with Bubba or Chewy or whoever is
Chewy,
or his neighbor.
The sister. As I hear about all this, so I just hope that if even like an eighth of this or a 16th of this is true, he needs to freaking be done for all this. He needs to serve some time and never get out. I mean, honestly, you gotta pay for what you've done. People think they get untouchable, like we're saying all night, and you get away with this. And as Angela said very, very articulately, the idea is if someone's going to be there for you for your career, they get a real official business meeting. They're going to be agents meeting. They're not going to be come back to my party here and then, drink this for a few times and then let's talk about it. That's not going to happen. We're going to have real business meetings. And I think he just uses power and abuses power. And because of that, we're here right now talking about it. And I hope at the end of the day that all these people, these victims out there will be taken care of and get some kind of justice, because this guy sounds like at the end of the day, I feel like Pepe is probably right when he always tells me every day that Diddy probably did it. I hope that we find a way to get some justice, all I can say. So
Pepe's accurate.
Smart dog.
Diddy did it. Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pepestar needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.